Welcome to Sage Audio. Today let's look at how to make thick vocals, but first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Using saturation for thick vocals. Saturation is one of the easiest and quickest ways to make your vocals sound thick. Simply introduce a saturation plugin, increase it until the vocal sounds full without too much distortion, and then adjust the output gain accordingly. Tube saturation is especially good for a full and thick sounding vocal. Let's take a listen to tube distortion on a vocal and notice how the second ordered harmonic that it introduces makes the vocal sound thick.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Thick vocals with upward compression. Upward compression is an underrated effect. It captures quieter parts of the vocal, compresses them, and then amplifies them. This makes it a really efficient way to increase quieter details of the vocal, in turn thickening all aspects of it that would have otherwise been masked. Let's take a listen to upward compression and notice how full the vocal becomes across the full frequency spectrum.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it helps us bring you more videos. Fast attack, makeup compression. In addition to controlling dynamics, compression is used to thicken a signal. By reducing the peaks and then amplifying the signal, we bring quieter details forward. Let's do this with a quick attack, 100 millisecond release, 2 millisecond look ahead, a softer knee, and with automatic makeup gain enabled. If the compressor that you use has it, select a vocal compression setting. Let's take a listen to how this brings the vocal forward and thickens it.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Short delay, moderate pre-delay. If delay is below 130 milliseconds, the original signal and the delayed signal will sound like a single, bigger signal. Let's introduce delay and include a little modulation if it's available. Additionally, let's set a pre-delay of about 20 to 30 milliseconds to let the transient through unaffected. Since the transient is higher in pitch, the majority of what gets delayed will be the lows and mids, adding to the thick sound of the vocal. Let's take a listen.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Short reverb on mids. Short reverb is going to act a lot like short delay, but with more complex reflections and a more realistic sound. If we emulate a small room, we can thicken the vocal in a more realistic way. But we can also make the decay as short as possible and include modulation if it's available. Like last chapter, we'll introduce a little pre-delay for the same reasons. Let's take a listen.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Chorus effect with modulation or doubler. A chorus effect is a lot like a vocal doubler. It utilizes short delays and then modulates the timing and the pitch to cause variation between the original and the delay taps. These variations cause a thick sound since it fills in gaps in time and the frequency response. Let's use Supermassive by Valhalla and try a chorus effect with it, and notice how much thicker and fuller the vocal sounds.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Amplify fundamental, attenuate 2.5 kHz. If you're looking for a simple way to thicken vocals or maybe want another form of processing to augment what we've discussed so far, you can use an EQ to attenuate about 2.5 kHz by roughly 1 to 2 dB. Then amplify the vocal's fundamental by the same amount. Let's listen to this EQ being used in addition to the chorus effect that we just used and notice how it augments the thickness of the vocal and the chorus effect.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
If you're enjoying the channel, use the search box to watch more of our videos. Upward compress side image. When we delay, reverberate, or double a vocal, we make it stereo with differing left and right signals. This means that we can affect our side image since it'll now be different from the mid. I'll send the vocal to a parallel track and use MSED to isolate the side image. Then I'll use an upward compressor on the side image. This is going to make the vocal wider, but it's also going to bring forward details that'll make it a lot thicker. Let's take a listen.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Distort the side image of the vocal. While we have our parallel send set up from the last chapter and the side image isolated, let's use a saturation plugin to emphasize these side details. Now, just like how saturation filled out the vocal originally, it's going to do the same thing to the side image, enhancing our temporal effects and thickening the signal. Let's combine this effect with the previously used upward compression and take a listen.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Parallel thick vocal part 1. Let's keep our parallel send and first insert a linear phase EQ, with which we'll isolate the lows and the mids. Then we'll saturate the signal with a warm tube setting before using upward compression. By isolating the mids, we focus saturation on thickening frequencies, adding harmonics to this region. Then, we amplify these harmonics using the upward compressor. Lastly, we'll blend the parallel signal in with the original. Let's take a listen.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
Parallel thick vocal part 2. Let's use the same setup as the last chapter, but set up a separate send on which we'll insert some of the temporal processing that we discussed. I'll use a short delay and short chorus, and then an upward compressor to make their effects thicker and more impressive. Then I'll blend this effect along with the parallel signal that we processed last chapter in with the original signal and create a super thick sounding vocal. Let's take a listen.
I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late. I'm smiling at you while you laughing at me. It's not too late.
If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching.